2026 is finally here. Well, it's been here for 3 weeks, but it is finally here. And there were many firsts for my 2025 running year. My first 10K ever, my first half marathon, my first full marathon, as well as my first consistent year of running and my first year on YouTube. So I figured today I'll spend some time and recap my Strava results with you guys. And the important part of this is I hope everyone gets a chance to reflect on their own journeys. Everyone's at a different stage in their running journey. I know some people are doing their first 5K, 10K, whatever it might be, or someone who's coming back from injury. I hope we can spend some time and look at our 2025 results and really be proud of the fact that we showed up and we did what we needed to do to get just a little bit better. And I think that's what I'm hoping I can achieve with this video. So let's get into how my 2025 went. So the first big milestone I hit in 2025 was something that I never really even discussed or said out loud. It was always something that I always said, it'd be cool if I could get that, but was never really something that I thought was gonna be attainable for me. And that was running 1,000 miles in 1 year. If you had asked me before I started my running journey in 2024, I would have never thought this was possible. I never really liked running, and nor was I ever an athlete. So the fact that in 2025 was able to run 1,000 miles, that was pretty awesome. And I honestly didn't even really track it. I actually realized I ran 1,000 miles when I did my Strava recap for the year. So it wasn't something that I was actually even looking at. I always kind of just said, oh, I would love to be in one of those years where people run 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 miles, whatever it might be. That'd be cool to reach that someday. But when I saw my recap and it said I ran 1,075 miles, I was like, holy moly, that's actually happened. So awesome, that fact that I was able to reach that milestone. Also on top of that, it showed that I was active for 45 consecutive weeks and for 249 days of the year, which again is more about my consistency with running or lifting or whatever it might be. That is what I'm the most proud of, was the fact that I was able to be consistent year round. And the reason why it wasn't fully 52 weeks or 365 days was because I did pick up an injury during my marathon, and there were weeks where I was sick. So I took that time off of running or any kind of workouts just to give my body a chance to recover and be fully good to go for my next training plan or whatever it might be. My biggest thing for my running journey is to try to be injury free. I am about to hit 41 this year, so I don't want to pick up an injury at this late stage of my running career or my age, I guess. That was one of the reasons why I would really take some time off if I really needed to, listen to my body and just shut it down just so I can get fully recovered. And I'm glad I did that, because I did realize that for my marathon training, for my marathon actual race that I picked up an injury, I took 2 or 3 weeks off, tried to come back a little early, and I was still in pain. So I took another 2 weeks off and running again, which I'm glad I did, because I listened to myself and now I'm in much better shape than I was going into that marathon. So, all right, so let's get into my 2025 races and results. Again, these are not gonna be official times. I know there's an Instagram account going around kind of holding a lot of the influencers. I'm not in that category yet, but a lot of the running influencers accountable for their times, chip time versus what they say on Strava, all that kind of stuff. So I'll say here, these are not official times. If you do follow my journey, I have made videos after my races, and I do have my official chip times on there. You guys can check it out. But just for the sake of being consistent and saying it's a Strava recap, and also because I'm lazy, I just didn't have the chance to go back and research all my chip time. So I figured we'll just go based off of Strava results, but again, these are not official times. So for the 5K, I did it this past November, and this was actually my second time running this course. I had run the first time in 2024 as my first race in my running journey, and this happens in my hometown. So it means a little bit more to me to be able to run this race over there. I did the second 5K in a time of 31 minutes and 42 seconds, which I am very proud of, because it's almost 5 minutes faster than my last year. And I know I could have gone faster. And I know everyone says this, but if you guys saw the video, it was raining pretty hard that morning, and I saw people slip and fall in the beginning of the run. So I didn't want to risk it. I didn't want to fall, especially it being my B race as a part of my current marathon plan for the LA Marathon. I didn't want to slip and fall and have any kind of injuries. So I was a little bit more careful. I was a little bit slower just to make sure that I don't pick up an injury. I know I could have gone faster. Don't know how much faster, but I'm still very, very proud of the 31 minutes. That's a lot faster than I had imagined. My Strava prediction for that race was like, I think 30 minutes, which I think could have been attainable. But again, I was a little bit more careful and cautious about the rain that morning. So nonetheless, still very proud of the results that I had. For my 10K, I ran this in early 2025. It's actually a virtual run as a part of this coffee event thing that was happening. I couldn't make it to the event, so I figured I'd just do a virtual one at the park. And that one came in at 1 hour and 9 minutes. I think I was on pace for that one. It was definitely where I think I was gonna land, and especially at that point in my journey. Sounds about right. So no complaint there whatsoever. For the half marathon, I ran it in May, I believe, of 2025, and this is the Orange County Half Marathon. And I ran this in a time of 2 hours and 35 minutes. Definitely hit a wall before one of the hills that came up, but nonetheless, super proud. That was my first official major event, and it was so much fun. Such beautiful scenery. Crowd was absolutely insane, and that was a lot of fun. So still very proud of that result. And then last but not least, my marathon, which I picked up an injury halfway through on mile 9 or 10, I believe it was. And so I ended that race at 6 hours and 20 minutes. Not quite where I was hoping to land. All of my first runs, my 10K half, my full marathon, I didn't have any specific times in place. I was more just about, let me just show up, let me do this run, it'd be fun to do it, and go pure based off vibes and be happy that it's my first time doing this specific kind of race or event. And so that was my whole point of my full marathon as well. But it definitely sucked because for me, picking up the injury at 10 miles and having to walk the rest of 16 was painful, yet also very humbling. With 2025 recapped and out of the way, let's get into my goals for 2026. And my logic for my goal setting for 2026 is something that I read off of Atomic Habits, a really good book by James Clear, where he talks about setting goals that are not completely unattainable, which is like me saying I want to run a 3-hour marathon. Not gonna happen yet, but also setting goals that are not super easy, where once you accomplish them, they don't really mean much. So saying like, I want to run 1,001 miles this year, right? I want to be able to set a goal that's gonna challenge me, push me, but also is not completely out of the realm for where I think I would be at with my running journey. So that's kind of my logic around where I set these goals. So my goal for my miles run in 2026 is going to be 1,500 miles. And you might just say, well, you just said you don't want to set a goal that's unattainable, yet you're increasing your previous result of 1,000 miles ran by 50%. I get that, and I do understand that that doesn't make any sense. But the reason why is because I'm actually moving out of this new beginner phase, and I think my training plan is reflecting that. So my weekly runs are in almost about 30 to 40 miles per week now. And I think because of my new mileage and my new training that I'm doing, I'm running a lot more miles per week. And knock on wood, no injuries. I feel like I should be able to attain 1,500 miles a little bit easier, because last year I did have almost a month off my post-marathon, and a bunch of other things where I had restarted my marathon plan, so I was running a lot shorter distances in the beginning. But with my new current plan, it's already having me run 16, 17 miles right off the bat. So it's one of those things where I think as I'm moving past that beginner stage of running, my miles have increased. So I do feel like 1,500 miles run this year would be attainable, if that makes sense. And as far as races go, I do have races planned out for this year, and I do plan on doing all levels of races again. Not the same events necessarily, but the same races. So I'll do a 5K, I'll do a 10K, I'll do a half marathon, and I'll do 2 marathons this year, all of which have already been planned out and paid for, so I am sticking to those. But before we get into the goals for those races let's get into what my Strava is predicting where I currently stand with those races according to my fitness level at this moment. So it'd be kind of fun to see, here's my predictions for my current fitness level and where my goals land. So for the 5K, it's saying that I should run my 5K currently at 29 minutes and 52 seconds, which I think is very attainable for me at my current fitness. My 10K is saying at an hour and 3 minutes. My half marathon is going to be at 2 hours and 27 minutes, and then my full marathon at 5 hours and 29 minutes. Again, these are all predictions based off of my current fitness level according to Strava. All right, so let's get into my goals for each of these races. I want to run my 5K sub 27 minutes, so about 3 minutes faster, give or take, than what my current level is at right now. I want to run a 10K sub 1 hour, which again would be freaking amazing. I want to run my half marathon sub 2 hours and 20 minutes, so about 7 minutes faster than where I'm at now. And for my full marathon, I want to run my full marathon sub 5 hours. Again, all of these I think are attainable. They are going to be challenging for where I'm at right now, but I think with consistency and showing up, it definitely will likely be something that I think I can accomplish. I would definitely keep you guys updated with my races. I have my first race actually coming up in March in 2 months. It's the LA Marathon, which I'm very excited for, but at the same time I'm very nervous for as well. I'm currently in my later stage of my running plan right now, so I'm averaging anywhere between like 30 to 40 miles a week. So it's very tiring. Nonetheless, I will keep you guys updated with that race and how that goes and all the other races in between. Well, there you guys have it, my 2025 results and my 2026 goals. Let me know in the comments below, what are your goals for 2026, or what are your results that you had from 2025 or some of the learnings. Be sure to put that in the comments down below. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next week where I will recap my best shoes of 2025. Again, I'll be 4 weeks late for that video, but it'll be there. See you guys then.